Hello, let's talk about the FastAPI MCP server today. This opens a lot of doors, opportunities for everyone. 2025 is a year of protocol. Instead of learning the A2A, that kind of thing, which is still under development right now, this indirectly give you the ability to use other person's agent tools and whatever. Imagine you host your own fast API somewhere. You expose some API endpoint to the user, where in your API endpoint you can trigger your own agent run and get back the result. Um, I feel like this can be a pretty versatile and powerful in some way. Let's take a look at how it works, and I'll have some my own explanation and thinking among that. So I asked the ChatGPT to give me a fast API simple server. This is not today's topic, so I'll skip all this function endpoint. Basically, it's a pretty simple DB crawl operation. In order to create one, you need to create a fast API first, and then this is the important part. You need to have this fast API MCP, and you mount your fast API to this MCP. Give a name, base URL, and all those parameters, and you hit mount. The agent itself will recognize this endpoint and directly use all the functions that here, endpoint that here. Things I ask myself is, hey, there's a no point, there's a no location for me to write the description. How does LLM know what to use? You know, each one of this endpoint will be viewed as tool, although you can configure that to expose or not expose. Um, so I did some research on that, and it ends up like, okay, LLM use what? Use the doc string to find out what the description of this tool. Also, here's a very important part. You probably want to do something like this, operation ID, to expose the tool name. Otherwise, it will generate something not that easy to understand. For example, I just say, hey, create expense, then I have tool name called create expense. And yeah, after that, you just fire up your fast API at this endpoint. Let's see, in my case, it's a 8005. Let's go to the FastAPI docs to see maybe more clear. And this is the money logger simple application. I want to log how much money I spend on what kind of products. And I expose some kind of functions like what is the total uh, money I spend based on the time range, what is the product, total money I spend on the products, and date range, and the create expense, things like that. For example, you uh, here I just say create spend what money on what and what is my note on that. Okay, let's see how to connect this simple fast API to my agent. I have created an agent here. Well, it's um, this is exactly the same code I use in my previous videos to connect your OpenAI agents to this MCP. I was thinking to use the Google ADK because this is a new thing and popular recently, but I realized this isn't actually not working. I'm pretty sure they will go to the point where they will dominate the entire framework or something, but not today. I found a lot of bug and it's very, how do I say that? It's not that easy to use. Even this MCP with ADK web itself is, this example code is wrong. All those functions async function, and here you're assigning this one to your root agent. You can fire up your ADK at the UI, but it's not gonna work. I spent some time to debug that. I don't know how to do it with Web ADK, but the CLI version is working. So I decided, hey, I might as well just come back with the OpenAI one. I come back with the OpenAI one. I fire up the entire thing. This is the same thing that in my previous video. If you haven't seen that one, connect your OpenAgent SDK to MCP. And then I'm asking a question here. Let's say the URL is my localhost URL, and then asking user provider to answer user's question. Let's say tell me to log 10 apples for 1,000 for $1,000. Okay, they'll just help me log that. Let's take a look at the trace all together. We go back to here. Let's oops, it asks me to log in that. Okay, let's see this example that I have here. Uh, so first, it will list all the API endpoints, and then it'll try to help me to log this information. It'll call this endpoint to, in this case, notice like 10 apples, and it will call this to get the result. Let's do something different. I bought 1,000 bananas for $1, which I think it was a pretty good deal. Yeah, it sounds like a great deal. And then let's go back to the trace and say that again. For $1, something like that. Yep. And then let's take a look at the DB that I have here. It's logging the things that are showing up. Yeah, that's pretty much what I want to show you. Thank you.